The last thing to consider in this lesson is, what happens if you choose to buy a used car, whether from a car dealership or actually just from an everyday individual person who's trying to sell their car on something like Kijiji or some other posting service like that. Okay. So let's say that a used car will in general cost a lot less than a new model of the same car. Cars depreciate in value; they drop in value with time. And so sometimes a used car loan will have a shorter payback period. Okay, used car could be much more affordable than a brand new car. Okay, so when your textbook originally came out, if a vehicle was sold privately, i.e., person to person and not through a dealership, um, then only PST was ever charged. Okay, PST is 8%. So bear that in mind for some of the answers to the homework questions. So let's say if a car is advertised for private sale on Kijiji for $4,500. Okay, 4,500. So let's determine the total cost of the vehicle including taxes. Well, we know, again, from what we did back in the first part of this, is that we can calculate the taxes one of two ways. We can calculate it based on simply the taxes, so 8% as, because we're just going to calculate PST here. So 8% on $4,500, 0.08, is going to equal $360. So the original purchase price of $4,500 plus the taxes will give us a final purchase price of $4,860 as your final purchase price. That's one option. The other way to calculate the final purchase price, as we said, you can do $4,500 times 1.08, and that will also give you $4,860. Okay, so that's your final purchase price. Now, let's say, for example, that you want to borrow $5,000 from the bank to buy a vehicle. Okay, and the bank's going to loan you the money at 4.6% interest compounded monthly, and you have to pay the loan back in 2 years. Okay, so what are your monthly payments going to be? Okay, so we need to know how much it's going to cost you. So let's say you want to borrow it. It's going to be, your principal is going to be $5,000. Okay, it says compounded monthly, so it's a compound interest question. We want to know what the final price or final amount is going to be if you borrow this for $5,000. That's what we don't know. We're going to look out for our I value. So our I value is going to be your R divided by the number of compounding periods per year. So 0.046. It's compounded monthly. That means 12 times. So that's going to be 0.046 divided by 12. So 0.046, 0.0 divided by 12 is going to give you approximately 0.00038. That's a terrible 3. 0.00383. Okay. And then we want to figure out, well, what's our end value? Well, our end value, we know that we have to pay back the loan in 2 years. It's compounded monthly, so 2 times 12, that's going to equal 24 compounding periods in total. So we want to know what the monthly payments are going to be. If we need to do that, we got to figure out, well, what's the total amount that we owe. So total amount is going to be 1 plus I to the exponent n. Principal is going to be $5,000. 1 plus 0.00383 to the exponent 24. So A is going to be 24. So our final cost is going to be $5,000 times 1.00383, all to the exponent 24. So final price is going to be 5480.42. Okay, and if we want to know what the monthly payments are going to be, okay, if I want to pay this back evenly over the span of 24 months, I would need to divide my final amount by 24. So my monthly payments is going to be $5,480.42 divided by 24, and that's going to be $228.35. Okay, so as you can see, buying a used vehicle is significantly cheaper. The monthly cost there is way less than it would have been if I had bought a brand new car. But there are some other things that you want to consider. So one of the things that you want to consider, there are at least three concerns people should have about purchasing a vehicle private. What can you do to combat these concerns? Well, really, there's any number of concerns that you can have if you're buying a vehicle privately. You want to make sure that you trust the owner. You want to make sure that the vehicle is in good working order, that the proper maintenance cycle has been taken care of, that the vehicle has been driven reasonably well, that it hasn't been in accidents, that it hasn't been stolen. You want to make sure that it's had no major repair work on it that might indicate, a defect at the factory when it was being built, or any number of things. Okay, so really getting a full history from the owner and getting, an opinion from your mechanic or whatnot, probably a good idea before you go and you buy. You're buying a vehicle privately from anybody. So with that being said, let's keep in mind, obviously, that buying or leasing a new vehicle is a very large expenditure. It's usually the second largest purchase that people tend to make over the course of their lives after a house. And often buying or leasing a vehicle involves making a down payment. So most people don't have in cash all the money that they need to buy a vehicle, and so they put down a certain amount and then they pay off the rest over time. Leasing a new vehicle, again, is basically like renting a vehicle for a long period of time, usually about 4 years or so. And finally, a good used car is going to cost you a lot less than a new model of the same car year. So if you're going out trying to figure out, what car you're going to buy, you should strongly consider, what do you actually want versus what do you need in a car or a vehicle, and make sure that you're choosing based on the practicality of it as opposed to just the emotional attraction to, having a new ride, as it were.